Hello class. These are the answer keys for you so that you can go over work that's not homework to make sure that you're doing it correctly. So let's start off with the Are You Ready? The Are You Ready is on page 28 and it's just kind of getting you prepped and warmed up for the activities that you're going to do. So here we're going to take a look at multiples, and when you look carefully you'll see that we're going to list the first 5 multiples of each number. So for number 1 we're listing it as 7, 14, 21, 28, and 35. For our next multiples, they're multiples of 11. So it's going to be 11, 22, 33, 44, and 55. We're going to then move to the next one, which is number 3. The multiples of 15 are 15, 30, 45, 60, and 75. For your next area, it's factors. The factors of 24 would be 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, and 4 and 6. The factors for 45, actually let me go in order, in 36 would be 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, and 6 times 6. The factors for 45 would be 1 and 45, 3 and 15, and 5 and 9. The factors for 32 would be 1 and 32, 2 and 16, and 4 and 8. Down at the bottom, you're using the distributive property to find the product. So if I wanted to figure out what 18 times 15 is, I could do 8 times 10 and 8 times 5. When I add those together, it would be 8 times 10 is 80, 8 times 5 is 40, 80 and 40 equals 120. Or I could use the distributive property to solve 6 times 17. 6 times 10, 6 times 7. 6 times 10 is 60, and 6 times 7 is 42. 60 and 42 is 102. That's the Are You Ready section. The next area is the Getting Ready for Vocabulary. So getting ready for vocabulary, let's kind of get it in the right direction here. We're looking at a graphic organizer. We're just putting the words in the correct location. So we have distributive property, product, multiples, and factors. And those words that we're using are greatest common factor and least common multiple. Now you could make what they have at the very bottom, which would be a little foldable, to keep the words greatest common factor and least common multiple up on your workstation area so that you could keep track of those words and not get the two of them confused. Now let's take a look at some of the practice work. So for some of the practice work, let's start on this side first. We've got understanding common factors. We are taking a look at a problem that says a florist makes bouquets from 18 roses and 30 tulips, and all of the bouquets will include both roses and tulips. If all the bouquets are identical, what are the possible bouquets that could be made? So we're using a word problem here to figure out greatest common factor. So we're writing out the number of bouquets, we're writing about the number of roses in each bouquets, and then we're doing the same thing, number of bouquets, number of roses, or number of tulips in each bouquet. And so we're looking to see, as we list those factors, where are we going to find two numbers that are going to be on both of those lists and both of these tables that's going to be factors of both 18 and of 30. And so by looking at that, we can see that, can the florist make 5 bouquets using all of the flowers? No, because 18, the number of roses, is not divisible by 5. What is the common factors of 18 and 30? Well, and what do they represent? Well, the common factors are going to be 1, 2, 3, and 6, and they represent the possible number of bouquets. What is the greatest common factor of 18 and 30? That number would be 6. Down at the bottom it says, suppose that the florist had 18 roses and it had 36 tulips. Let me double check that. Yep, 36 tulips. Would that change the answer? It would now be that since 36 is a multiple of 18, the greatest common factor would be 18. Let's take a look at the other side. This side now is looking at the example that a baker has 24 sesame bagels and 36 plain bagels to put into boxes. Each box must have the same number of each type of bagel. What is the greatest number of boxes that the baker can make using all of the bagels? And how many sesame bagels and how many plain bagels will be in each box? Again, we take a look at our example here. So we are listing the factors of 24. We're listing the factors of 36. The greatest common factor of 24 and 36 is going to be 12. So the greatest number of boxes that the baker can make is 12. There will be 2 sesame bagels in each box because 24 divided by 12 is 2. And there will be 3 plain bagels because 36 divided by 12 is 3. Okay, down at the bottom it says, what is the greatest common factor of 2 prime numbers? Well, there could be multiple answers for this, but for prime numbers, I could use 11 and 13 because a prime number is something that is not going to be evenly divided into except for 1 and itself. So that would be 11 and 13. And if I was looking for the greatest common factor of both of them, I would find that that answer is 1. Down at the bottom on the your turn, what would be the greatest common factor of 14 and 35? We see the answer is 7. And what would be the greatest common factor of 20 and 28? That answer would be 4. And then at the very bottom, we have another question that says, the 6th grade class is competing in school field day. There are 32 girls and there are 40 boys who want to participate. Each team must have the same number of girls and the same number of boys. What is the greatest number of teams that can be formed? And how many boys and girls will be on each team? By looking at the greatest common factor of 32 and 40, I find that my answer is 8. And when I list out my factors, I can tell that 8, if I were to divide that in, there would be 4 girls and 5 boys. Finally, we're going to look at one more page, which is going to be the using the distributive property. So for using the distributive property, you can use graph paper to visually draw out for yourself what it would look like to have a representation of 1 45th and of 3 15ths and of 5 ninths. And so I just want to very quickly go through those answers. So when it says A, what do the side lengths of the area model represent? They represent the factors of 45. On your own grid paper, show all the possible ways that you could do an area model of 60. So you wouldn't write anything in that box. For number C, or for C, what side lengths do the area models of 45 and 60 have in common? What do the side lengths represent? They represent common factors. So some of those common factors are going to be 1, 3, 5, and 15. They're common factors of 45 and 60. What is the greatest common side length and what does it represent? Well, the greatest common side length is 15, and that's what represents the greatest common factor of 45 and 60. If I were to write 45 as a product of the GCF and another number, I would write it as 15 times 3. If I were to write 60 as a product of the greatest common factor and another number, I would write it as 15 times 4. So I'm going to bring my book back up for you. Again, so you can kind of see those examples there of what I just explained. I went from A through E. Okay, so now I want to take a look at the very bottom part of it, which is F and the reflection problems. So for F, it says you're going to use your answers above to rewrite 45 plus 60. I'm going to rewrite it now as 15 times 3 and 15 times 4, and then using that distributive property, I'm going to rewrite it again, putting the 3 and the 4 together one more time so that you can see it. Again, I just want to show it to you one more time at the bottom over here so that you can see what exactly I am showing you. Here's where I'm going to be putting in the 3 and the 4, the 3 and the 4. All right, finally, the last part of the answer key, it says, write the sum of the numbers as the product of their GCF and another sum. So for 27 and 18, I'm going to write it as 9 times, parentheses, 3 plus 2, equals 9 times 5. For number 7, 120 and 36, if I want to rewrite their greatest common factor, it's going to be 12 times, parentheses, 10 plus 3 equals 12 times 13. And then finally, for number 8, 9 and 35 as a greatest common factor would be 1 times, parentheses, 9 plus 35 equals 1 times 44. And again, I want to put those up here for you to see so that you can look at those problems one more time. And I'm going to try and hold it as still as I can so you can see it. Okay, so I've just gone through with you now all of the answers for the practice to make sure that you've been doing it correctly. Now, once you get to the guided practice on page 34, that is for you to work on for homework. Now, there is a total, I'm sorry, the guided practice is not for you to work on homework. I apologize. That's the next page. 35 and 36 is your independent practice and homework. So I can share the answers with you very quickly for the guided practice. So for guided practice on this side here, you can see that we are again putting those factors of 16 and 24. We're also working out what are the common factors, what are the possible numbers that you can make, and what is that greatest common factor. Down at the bottom, again, you're going to be using the distributive property again for greatest common factor for number 2 and for number 3. I'm just going to leave this here for a second. You can pause the video at any time so that you can go back and double check that your answers are correct. Okay, so at this time now I've gone over all the work so that you know what answers are correct when you're doing it on your own. The rest of the work, which is homework, is an independent practice work we check every morning when we come back together in class. Thank you for watching the Answer Key video.